We all know the story of the Grinch, that holiday-hating, mean green curmudgeon whose heart grew 3 times its normal size thanks to little Cindy Lou Who. Of course you do. It's a Christmas classic with an inspiring message about the power of the holiday spirit, of forgiveness, and how people can change. Well, according to the makers of The Mean One, that's all a load of crap. You see, Cindy's mother was killed by the Grinch, the Mean One, on Christmas morning. And it messed her up good. 20 years later, Cindy returns to Wellville to face her green demon. And he's been waiting. I remember first hearing about the Mean One not that long ago. I really didn't pay it that much attention, though. We'd already had Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey take a timeless childhood classic and shamelessly drag it through the mud. And I loved it. But that movie's infamy pretty much guaranteed that other childhood classics would sooner or later get horrified too. The fact that the movie stars David Howard Thornton as the Mean One was intriguing, though. Thornton, of course, is best known for playing everyone's favorite diabolical clown Art from the Terrifier movies. Thornton is a talented performer, there's no doubt about it. Without even a single line of dialogue, he's made Art the Clown a horror household name, simply through his physicality, and he just seems to be having a blast as the character. Then the Mean One came out, and it was thoroughly crapped on. But being a sucker for holiday horror, I decided to give it a go anyway. And the movie is... Well, first and foremost, if you go into the Mean One expecting anything resembling Terrifier or the Mean One's murderous antics taking front and center, you're going to have a humbug of a time. The movie focuses on Cindy instead, her PTSD, and her desperately trying to convince the town leaders that the Mean One is real. So the elephant in the room here is the fact that the makers of the Mean One had to call it the Mean One and not refer to the Mean One as the Grinch. Even though they could use the Grinch's likeness, they couldn't just outright call him the Grinch. As a matter of fact, the movie pokes some fun at itself a couple of times when a character almost calls the Mean One the Grinch, but is stopped mid-Grinch. And of course, they couldn't call the town that the movie takes place in Whoville. They had to call it Wellville because of legal reasons. Anyway, the main plot takes on sort of a Jaws vibe early on, with the mayor and town sheriff downplaying the existence of the Mean One, banning the celebration of Christmas in Wellville, and covering up the spate of disappearances of folks who foolishly celebrated the Yuletide there anyway. Not that Thornton doesn't get his hands dirty as the Mean One, it's just not as fun or as gooey, and we don't get that much of the Mean One really, which feels like a waste of Thornton's talents. There are a couple of cool kills, but most feel kneecapped by bad CGI, sluggish editing, and just an overall low budget. For instance, the opportunity for a blood-soaked Santa massacre is squandered when a busload of drunk Santas picked the wrong town to make a pit stop in. What should have been the movie's marquee moment is more like unwrapping socks and underwear on Christmas morning. And this movie has no business being 90 minutes long. Not that it was ever really boring or anything, but there were times where I felt like, come on, let's get to the point here. Now, having said all that, I can't say that I had a bad time with the Mean One. There are some bright spots here. The narration is pretty cool, there are some humorous moments, the cast is mostly likable, and the performances are fine. When the Mean One is on screen, it feels like a treat. The design of the character is pretty cool, and Thornton makes the most of what screen time he has. The Mean One certainly isn't a new holiday horror classic, but I still had a good time with it. Maybe my expectations were just really low, or like I said, I'm just a sucker for holiday horror, even though it doesn't really look or feel that holiday-y. They kind of explain that in the movie, but it was also filmed in California, so, I can't necessarily recommend The Mean One, and I won't be adding it to my yearly holiday horror roundup. But I also can't say that I didn't have a fun time with it. I just wish it were a little bit meaner. If you've seen The Mean One, please let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, let me know if there's any holiday horror movies aside from the big guns, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas, etc., that you watch every year. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. A huge thank you to all my patrons and channel members for your generosity and support. Become a patron today and get early access to videos, have a say in what content appears on my channel, join me for monthly live streams, exclusive watch parties, and more. Become a channel member today and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream, as well as members-only watch parties. Both those links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.